Welcome back to the another video. So in this video we are going to talk about the Palo Alto Panorama. Panorama. So Panorama enables you to effectively configure, manage and monitor your Palo Alto network firewalls, multiple firewalls you can say, with centralized management. Centralized management. The three main areas in which Panorama adds values are centralized management, number one. Another thing is that aggregated logs with centralized oversight for analysis and reporting. That means collecting information on activities across all the firewalls on the network and centrally analyzing, investigating, and reporting on that data. Now, this comprehensive view of network traffic, user activity, and associated risk empowers you to respond to potential threats using a rich set of policies to securely enable applications to your network. Another thing is that distributed administrator. Now, what do you mean by the distributed administrator is that you do have the administrators. So now they might be assigning to, like, if we, for example, I do have a Palo Alto 1, Palo Alto 2, and Palo Alto 3. Now the admin 1 is allocated to Palo Alto 1, admin 2 is allocated to Palo Alto 2, and admin 3 is allocated to Palo Alto 3. But how they are going to have this centralized management is that between these two, when they want to access, they will access Panorama. They will access the Panorama. And once they access the Panorama, according to their roles, they are only able to access the particular sensor or the firewall. So it's a distributed one. So some may have, like admin one may also have the access to Palo Alto 1 and 2 also firewall. Admin 3 only have access to only admin 3 and admin 2 only has access to admin 2 only. So it's just like a distributed hierarchy where you can assign the roles to the different administrator to access them. And here you do have a panorama, so they will access the panorama, and from there they will manage their own firewall. Now, this panorama can be standalone one, or can be in a high availability, or maybe it might be a virtual, or maybe it can be the physical. So it can be anything, but we do have the virtual and the physical panorama series. Now coming to the models, we will discuss about the models now. So we do have the panorama, what you can say, virtual series. Just give me 1 minute. Okay. All right, so we do have the virtual series. Now in the virtual series, we can have different modes. So what are those different modes? So one is the panorama mode. So in this mode, the Panorama virtual appliance supports the log collector because it collects the log. So it will support up to 12 virtual disks, and each disk consists of 2 TB. So maximum it can consist of up to 12. So 12 into 2, 24 TB for one appliance. If it is in high availability, you will have a two appliance, so it will support up to 48 TB of storage of hard disk. So only Panorama mode enables you to add multiple virtual login disks without losing logs on existing disks. For example, if you want to add more space, then you can go ahead and remove the existing one and add the new hard disk. Next one is the legacy mode. This is what we will have in the virtual one in your lab also. Panorama virtually receive and stores all the data logs and everything. It will store into a single hard disk. Right, so everything will be stored in a single hard disk, and the hard disk can be up to the 2 TB of hard disk. So it depends on which mode you want to go. If you want to have, if you are having a lot of data, then you go with the Panorama mode. But if you don't have a lot of data, then you go with the legacy mode. So it depends on you. Management only mode. So in this mode, the Panorama virtual appliance is dedicated to management appliance of your managed log collector. Or you can say that because Panorama is a centralized management service, so basically you will have it will just act as a dedicated log collector. Additionally, an appropriate resource of Panorama can virtually manage up to 2,500 firewalls. Right, so management mode only means it can manage your device, plus it can collect the logs, and last and final mode is the log collector mode. So in this mode, the virtual appliance will just behave like a log collector. So you're not managing that one, any of the firewalls, you're just collecting the data from the multiple firewalls. All right, so these are the different things. And we do also have the physical series, which are think starting from 100, 200, 500, and 600. And again, with the modes within this physical also, you do have the modes. So one is the panorama mode. As we said that this will be useful for managing firewalls and the log collectors. Management only mode. So this will also be able to manage the device and be like a dedicated. So basically both of them are almost similar, but we do have a little exception in the management, because in the management it will only uh, the Panorama does not have the capability to collect the config and system logs, but in the Panorama also you do have the capability of collecting the data of the config and system logs. And similarly here in the Panorama mode, so you can have the config and system logs. And again, last and final, log collector mode. So in the virtual appliance, we do have one extra mode, that is the legacy mode. But basically, Panorama is used for the centralized management. So you will be managing multiple firewalls. You can create the policies. You can have the templates where if any of the two firewalls have the same configuration, you can use the templates, create the templates, and push the templates to the firewalls. So you're just creating the configuration once, and you're just pushing all the details to the multiple firewalls. Again, same with the policies, you will be creating one policy for all of the multiple firewalls require the same policies, you will just utilize the same policies and you can push. Now the best example will be like you will be creating the zones, right? So you will be creating the zones inside, outside. So once you created this one for the multiple firewalls, you can use the same zone, same objects repeatedly. You don't have to create multiple times, because in the past, if you see, I've seen that I have created the VPNs, I've created the high availability. When I have configured these lab for the pre-setup. In that pre-setup, I have to go to their individual PC firewalls, Palo Alto 1 and Palo Alto 2, and I have to configure these of both Palo Altos individually. So I have creating everything twice. So with the Panorama, it will be a centralized management, so it will be easy for me. Once you create any object or template, you can reuse this object. So I hope this was informative for you, and thank you.